All right, this is going to be exercise 10-38, and I have already laid out the chart on my paper that is in your book with the numbers already filled in. You can see I had one spot I had to scratch out, but other than that, it looks like it's just like the chart up there. And basically, what we're going to do is just go fill in the numbers for this chart and see how everything goes along. And it says, number one, within the context of a not for profit organization, what is an endowment fund? An endowment fund is a permanent fund of which the disbursements out of that fund depends on what the contract for the endowment is. For example, the Texas Society of Certified Public Accountants this year just rounded out a $100,000 endowment fund for us at UTPB, and that will generate profits. The profits from that fund are managed by the University of Texas system, and the profits from that fund will go to fund accounting scholarships every year. Now, right now, it's been that the endowment from the fund generates about 4.5% revenue, and yet it still grows about 2 to 3% a year on top of that. So it's been a pretty good performer. And so an endowment is a permanent fund. However, endowments can be things that are used for rainy day funds, which is apparently what this one is used for, because they can borrow from it and then repay it. So you can use it as rainy day funds or any number of things that come along. And so that's number one. Number two, complete the cash budget for each quarter and the year as a whole using the template that follows. Okay, and it says determine the amount of agency that will owe the endowment fund at year end, and does borrowing create a problem? Okay, so the restrictions that we have on this is that the Board of Trustees of Tri-County must maintain a cash balance of $8,000. So when we get down to that ending cash balance line, the minimum amount is $8,000. If cash is short, the agency may borrow from an endowment fund the amount required to maintain the $8,000 minimum. So in this case, we don't have round lot numbers, that sort of thing. It is anticipated the year will begin with 11,000 cash balance. That's already shown right here. All these numbers are in thousands. Contract revenue is received evenly throughout the year. So let's go ahead and fill in that line right now. Our contract revenue is this line right here. We see that the total for the year is 80,000, so we can just fill in 20,000 for each quarter because it's received evenly throughout the year. And the mental health income is expected to grow by 5,000 in the second and third quarters, and no change in the fourth quarter. So our mental health income here is expected to grow by 5,000 in each of the next two quarters. So that'll be 25,000. That will be 30,000, and then 35,000. And we can cross-check that. 20 plus 25 is 45, 70, 75. Oops, no change in the fourth quarter. 20 plus 25 is 45, 75, 105. And so that cross-checks there. Okay. And so that's all that we know. And now we just have to go in and fill in this amount. And so we can add this up, the total cash available. So 80 plus 20 is 100, plus 20 is 120, plus 250 would be 370 available there. Now, we go down here to salaries and benefits. We don't know that, but we do know that that our excess or deficit is 46. So that means our total disbursements is 46 greater than than our total cash available. So 370 plus 46 is 416 for total disbursements. 416 for total disbursements. And so now we can back into the salaries and benefits. 416 minus 20 minus 2 minus 70 for office expenses gives us 324,000 for that. This is the same as when we were doing our budgets before as the tentative balance. Remember that we need 8,000 in our ending cash balance. And so we need to borrow from the fund 54,000. We will have 0 repayment. And so the total financing effects will be 54,000. And so the ending cash balance will be 8. All right. And so now we go up here, and our ending cash balance in quarter 1 is our beginning cash balance in quarter 2. Now we can figure out what our charitable contributions are. So we're told that the total cash available is 473 minus 25 minus 20 minus 70 and the beginning cash balance of 8. That means our charitable contributions in this quarter were $350,000. Now, over here on the office expense, we need to figure that to get our total disbursements and our excess or deficit. So now we have the 256 is the total for the year, minus 50, minus 71, minus 70. That means that this was 65 right there. Okay, now we can add up our total disbursements. We'll have the 65 plus the 342, which was given to us, plus 4, plus 15 will give us 426. So 473 minus 426 will be 47. And that checks out that our total, we would pay back 39, and that will give us an ending balance of 8. Now, this total financing effect, this will be 15. So it's the 54 minus 39. So we still owe 15 on that. That's not part of the addition on that sort of thing. All right, so now we bring our ending cash balance up to be the third quarter's beginning cash balance. We have the total cash available, so we'll just subtract that out and find out what that is. So 333 minus 8 minus 20 minus 30 minus 200 will give us 75,000 in grants for that period. That gives us our total cash available. Once again, we don't know our expenses on that, but we do know that we have to borrow from the fund $812, and so that means that or 112. Sorry, we need to borrow 112. That means that our excess or deficit is going to be going to be 104. And that will end up giving us the 8,000 for that one when we do that. And our net effects there is going to be 127 that we owe. Now, from the 104, we excess or deficit, we can get the total distributions of 104 plus 333. Means our total distributions were 437,000. Take the 437, subtract 18, subtract the 6, and subtract the 71. And that means our salaries this period were 342, just like they were in the second period. And so that all adds up. We bring this over here to the year end for the fourth quarter. So that is going to be 8. Now we can get into this number here with the 300 minus the 75 minus 70 minus 80. That'll give us 75,000 in grants. The contract was 20, mental health income was 30, and charitable donations was 400. Add that all up. And that will give us 533,000 in funds available. Right. Now we can do the same thing here with the salary and benefits. We can take the 1365 total, subtract 342 twice, and 324. And that gives us salaries and benefits of 357 on that. Again, we do the same thing on these two. 17 minus 12 is 5. 73 minus 18 minus 15 minus 20 is 20. Now we can add that all up. Give us 432. And we are off by 1, I believe. We're off by 11 somewhere. So anyway, we need the 8,000. Let's see here. It's 150. That's 150. So that adds up. That adds up. 60, 80, 105. That adds up. Charitable donations. That should add up. Yeah. So check our math on that one. $370 is right. Oops. $370 is wrong because that had to be the 11, right? So go back to that. 11, enter 80 plus 20 plus 20 plus 250 plus gives us 381 there. Let's see what that does. Okay, 381. We know the excess or deficit was 46. So that's going to be 427 there. So what was the one that we filled in there? Filled in there was salaries and benefits. So 427 minus 20 minus 2 minus 70 would be 335. There. Okay, and that gives the rest of that will be correct. Okay, so now this is where that one comes in. So the 1365 minus, remember this one was blank, so 342 minus 342 minus 335 minus, whoops, hit something wrong on my calculator, 1365 minus 342 minus 335 will be 346. 346 here. Okay. And so now 346 plus 50 plus 5 plus 20 gives us 421. And now that number is correct. So the mistake here that I made by forgetting to add the 11 on my total cash, that's what caused the mess up there. So now the numbers are correct through there. So 436, okay, gives us 112. Okay, we're going to end up with 8, so that means we are going to repay 104 here. And so that will leave us with a total balance of 23 that we still owe the fund. All right, so when you do the year, the total, be very careful because the 11 is this beginning. Then these numbers are all of these added, is this line added up gives you that, this line adds up gives you that, this line added up. So charitable donations will be this line add up. So 600, 850, 1,000, 1,200,000 for that. And then you add this column all up. And that gives you 1,696,000 cash available. Same thing here. The total distributions are going to add up. So this is where you can tick and tie, cross check. All right, 1365 plus 256 plus 17 plus 73 gives us 1,711,000, and we can add it up this way: 427 plus 426 plus 437 plus 421, and that gives us 1711 this way. So that is probably correct. And so the excess or deficit, it will not be this added up. Well, it actually, it probably will. This was actually a deficit. And so 1711 minus 1696 is, gives us 15 for the year. And then our ending cash balance, well, that one, ending cash balance will be 8 on that. All right, so that's filling out that chart. And so our total borrowings will be 166. Our total repayments will be 143, and so 23, which is correct on that. All right, so that is problem 10-38.